about simply on bracing for difficult times or for hard times in diaspora. Everybody believes that once you're in diaspora, things start opening up. You're like in heaven. You have a space actually in paradise, which is not always the case. And so I just wanted to talk on a few tips about how to brace for hard times and how to prepare for those hard times, and also how to get ready when things don't go the way you want them to go. So guys, ladies and gentlemen, you're so welcome. Let me hear from you. Also, let me know what you think about this. How do you prepare for hard times? How do you brace for hard times in diaspora, wherever you are in diaspora? It's not just in America or in Europe. It can be anywhere in diaspora. If you're not living in your home and you're an African, you're not living in your home country, then you're also in diaspora. And I'm sure it's not the same as when you're home. When you're home, somewhere you know how to hustle, you know how to go about certain things. But when you're in diaspora, it's sometimes a bit tricky, because you may not know the system, you may not know the secrets of the place, you may not know the system which to go to, or the agency or the institution to go to when you need help or when things get hard. So that's why I thought it's a good topic actually, because sometimes we are surprised. Sometimes we get surprised when we get in trouble, or when things get hard, when things get tough, and then you're all alone. I don't think there are so many of us who go to diaspora and you have your family right there. Some of us, we're just alone. We're just us and the world and God and the world. And so we are left alone to decide what to do about our lives and about the situation that we are in. I know many of you may not know why sometimes there could be even problems. Some of us, we think, when you're in, like, let's say in Germany, everybody thinks when you come to Germany, the government will take care of you. There are systems in order to take care of you, to pamper you and make sure that you get along. But let me surprise you, whoever thinks it's that easy, it's not that easy when you come to Germany or when you go to any other country which is not your home country. First of all, the language issue. Do you know the language? You have to start learning the language. What do you do when you don't know the language? You have to learn the language. That is not something you can skip. You have to learn the language. And then for you to get help even from any of their offices, you have to speak their language. How are you going to ask for help when you cannot even speak their language? Some of them, even if they speak English, they will pretend not to speak English, or they will just assume, well, if you need our help, then you have to make sure that you can speak our language, you can talk to us, and then you don't get the help. So I always say, if you have gone to a certain country and you don't speak their language, make an effort of learning the language, at least the basics. You don't need to learn and become perfect in that language right away, but you can start at least learning the basics. I tell you, if you can say what you need or what type of help do you need in the language of the person who is giving you the help, you are better off than someone who can speak even a single sentence in that country's language. I have seen so many who, especially here in Germany, I experience it a lot, that they say, well, if they come to our country, they have to learn our culture, they have to learn how we live, they have to learn, they have. So it's always actually the duty of the one who is coming in to adjust or to get used to the system there. So they don't expect you to, they don't expect that they are the ones to change for you. It's you who is in diaspora who is supposed. They expect you to try to fit in. Trying to fit in is understanding their culture. It's things like punctuality and all that. Things like language. Things that you need to do. If you are able to work, you have to work. So they don't really want to adjust for you, It makes it easier for you to go through hard times when you have tried to adjust to the system. If it is difficult for you to adjust to the system, it will be very hard for you to get help in hard times. I have seen people trying to go to offices, like in Germany we have offices where you can go when you have no job, or offices you can go when you need maybe direction on one thing or the other, and it becomes so difficult when you cannot speak the language. it becomes so difficult when you cannot express yourself. So let's learn the language, and then it will be much easier for you to get help when you need help. Secondly, do you know their culture? What are their expectations about certain issues? What are their expectations for you as a foreigner when you go to ask for help, for a job? I mean, are you prepared? I tell you, we are melting in this place. I'm so sorry, but I feel like it's so hot today in Germany, generally in southern Germany. In Stuttgart, and this place is hot today. I don't know, we may be at 30 degrees already. I am not very sure, but it is very, 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 very hot. And so I'm sorry if I may be drowning the studio today, but we need to understand the system first before we can go ahead and try even to solve our problems. We need to understand the system. Do you understand the system of the place you're living in? Do you understand how certain offices work? Do you understand sometimes even what time these people work, how important it is for them, how you behave, how you carry yourself, how you ask for help? You brace for hard times in preparing. You prepare ahead of time with learning the language, the culture, knowing how those people function, knowing how these offices work where you want to go for help. Karanje, you're saying it's 32 degrees in North Rhine-Westphalia. I tell you here, I don't know how, but we may be having around that much because it is hot and we're melting. Yeah, so I think it's always very important for us to notice what is helpful for us. Like jobs. Sometimes we think we can go anywhere and just start working something. But jobs are not just jobs. You can go and look for a job and it's not paying you as much as you should be paid. Have you done the necessary research? Because you may just take a job, okay, for the sake of taking that job, but have you even found out that job you're taking, how stable is that company? How good are they paying? What qualifications actually could make you earn more than they're giving you? So when it becomes difficult for you to get a job, don't rush to just any job. Try to get a job that is fitting your needs. Try to get a job that is going to feed you and you still have something. Not just a job that is going to feed you and then you have nothing for emergency situations. Because some of us, we run and, just anybody who gives a job, we run and take that job. But it may be not the best solution for you, because if it becomes hard and you have been working, and the money just fits, just enough to pay your bills and nothing is left. What happens when it becomes hard? When maybe suddenly you don't have that job and you are not able to save any money at that time, what will you do? And you may not have friends at that time who can help you. You may even have friends who are affluent, who are rich, who have money, but they're not willing to share their money with you. So what will you do? That's why it is so important to take a job that is able to support you, not just when you're working, but even after you don't have that job, or maybe you got sick and you cannot work at that time. That is that job that you have now, enabling you to put something on the side so that when hard times come, you have something to fall back onto. Because some of us I have seen some of us being surprised by circumstances in our situation in diaspora. And let me tell you, there is nothing hard as being in a foreign country, having no friends, having no family, and you are there, you have no money, you have nothing to hold you, to support you. So that's why it's so important when you're taking a job, just don't take a job just because it's available. Take it with those thoughts. Is this a job that I will be able to feed myself with, to pay my bills with, and still put something to the side for the rainy days? You may one day have not that job anymore. You may one day maybe be sick and you cannot work anymore. You may one day maybe suddenly the company can close. Like at the times of Corona, how many companies closed? How many companies could not survive? How many companies had to lay off their workers? How many had even to just close definitely? And Now imagine if someone who was working in that company was just earning enough, just enough to keep him over the waters, and then something like this happens and he has nowhere. And let me tell you, also in Germany we have a rule. Some people think, oh, when I work I am going to get automatically jobs from job center, the support and the money that I may need. It's not always like that. Why? Because when you have not worked for a whole full year, you don't get support from the job center. So let's say you had a job, it was just paying your rent, it was just paying your necessary things, and then suddenly it is not there. This job is not there anymore. And you are not even have been working for 1 year. What do? It's difficult. So that's why we have to really brace. We need to prepare. We need to have a system of that time when it becomes difficult. What support system do I have? What help do I have that will help me to sustain me, to keep me going while I look for another job? Maybe when I lose whatever, maybe the savings that I had or whatever happens, we need to have a system to brace ourselves for those difficult times, for those surprise moments which come. Ugly surprises never fail in this life. We are on this planet, and we can have good times and we can have also hard times. So we have to consider that. It is not easy to just be in a foreign country, to have no friends, to have neighbors maybe who don't even know that you exist, and then you have no money and no system to keep you in case something happens. You have to prepare really in diaspora. And I'm talking about this because I've seen also sometimes we are always earning and giving and buying and doing, and sometimes we have nothing left for us, even for us personally, to develop ourselves. How are we working on that really to make ourselves safe? We need to have a system on the side to help us. Bracing for hard times in diaspora is necessary. I know there are always opportunities. In some countries like Germany, there are always jobs. I always say bad jobs are always there. You will never lack a bad job. But good jobs where you really earn enough so that you can put something on the side, you cannot take it for granted. If you have one, be thankful. If you don't have one, then start looking around and prepare. Prepare very well. You cannot live blindly. We cannot afford to live blindly in diaspora, because in diaspora we are just on our own. We have either our family, we have either our friends, but they may not be there when we need them. They may not be there. Yeah, I just posted something the other day on my Facebook page. We have to be prepared to survive alone, because at times all the support system we have around us may fail, may not be around, and then we have to survive, and then we have to come through, to pull through. And imagine now if you are a family with children. Ruth Matila, hi, how are you? Nice that you joined. I hope we'll be able to communicate here. My telephone is giving me a bit of stress, but we are here anyway. We have to find a system. Some people do this by having chamas or groups that can help us to survive. But what if you don't have a chama, a group to help you, a self-help group? Actually, chama is like something like a self-help group. What do we do if we don't have them? Look for friends, look for like-minded people. It doesn't have to be a big group, it doesn't have to be a whole community. It can be just some few people who are going to help you to survive the hard times. How do you brace for hard times in terms of friends? Do you have friends where you are? Do you have people, trustworthy people, who can stand with you in hard times? Hi, Ruth Matila. Hi, you're saying, hey dear, glad to be here. I'm glad you're here. Welcome. And give us your ideas. How do you brace for hard times in diaspora? Because I know you're also in diaspora. By the way, I love the country where you're living. It looks so spacious and so nice and natural, really. Enjoy, huh? Ruth, thank you for joining. I'm talking about bracing for hard times in diaspora. How are we doing that? How are we preparing for our children? How are we prepared? Even for those of us who, you may be working, you're having a good job, you have good money, but remember, all these things can all of a sudden get to a standstill. how have you, what emergency brakes have you put in your life to make sure that things go on well when your situation changes? Now, suppose you stop working. What have you put to the side to help you? Have you other qualifications that will make it easier for you to get another job? Are you learning new things, new skills? Are you connecting with people so that in case of those hard times, these people can be your emergency brakes to help you not to slide into oblivion, to help you not to slide into an unending trouble, unending suffering. I have heard of our people who sometimes you're all alone, you get sick, you cannot cater for yourself, but you're all alone because you didn't have friends, you don't have family, you don't have a good support system at work as well. Maybe you don't have a good connection with people at work or your boss or whatever, or you have no insurance to even come and help you in that time. Some of us, we may get sicknesses that we may never have gotten in our countries. And if you don't have an insurance that can help you in times of that, it's I think it's called inability to work, something like that. Jobunfähigkeit, Arbeitsunfähigkeitsversicherung, something like that. Do it when you're young, when you're strong. Don't wait until you are in the years when even the insurances, you go there and you want to apply for the insurance and they don't want to take you because your age is advanced, because maybe you already have some chronic diseases, maybe you already have things or conditions that make it hard for you to take care of those situations. So when you're young and you're working and you're making good money, that is the time to think of bracing for hard times. Not just spending, but also to think of those hard times, because there are some of us who are suffering out there. Maybe they lost a job and then they had no money on their side and they find themselves not able to get a new flat because they saved nothing. They did not put any savings on the side for such a hard time. So when you're just having, maybe you're earning 5,000 euros, do something even for the future, not just for now. Think of that time that what if something happens that I'm not able to earn this 5,000 anymore? Put some breaks in place to help you in emergency. Maria Kaine, you're watching. Thank you for watching, dear. Thank you for joining me. I hope you're doing fine, madam. My hero out there. I really respect you. This lady is so strong. Maria Kaine, you always have my salute, madam. Really, you're a strong woman. And I know that you have always been giving us also ideas how to survive in diaspora, because you have also very good experience even with money and with children and all that. I really appreciate what you always write in the groups. So some of us, we are really having a good life. We are having a beautiful ride in life. We are having a blast in diaspora. We are posting here and there. We are drinking our wine. We are eating, going out and eating. Yes, you live only once, yes, and you have to enjoy it today, yes, but you also need to put some breaks in place in case something doesn't work, in case something doesn't function. You need to be ready. We need to be ready. I'm putting myself in that bracket. Ruth Matila, you said, oh, thanks a lot. You know, I'm still waiting for you here. Yes, I'm going to come. I am going to come. In diaspora, it's quite hard. I think people are here modeled to survive alone. The best you can do is to invest in yourself, get a good insurance. I'm sure that's what you wanted to say. Get a good... yeah, I can see it very well. Alex Amla, you're watching. Thank you for joining me. And I really think we all need to learn to put breaks in place. Sorry, Ruth, I could not read all your message through, but I think you are saying that we have to prepare. We have to put some insurances. To get insurances, we have to get ready for such situations, because without them, I think we are going to suffer. We are going to suffer. If we are not ready to prepare when things are going well, then we are going to suffer when things get hard. Because when things get hard, first of all, you get in shock. You don't know what's happening. What can I do to make my situation get better? How can I change my situation right now? And then you can't think straight sometimes. That's why it is good to prepare when things are going well, not to try grappling around and trying to get a hold of the situation when you're already in a fix. You know, Life can be very tricky. Life can be so tricky. And in diaspora especially, it can be so tricky. And we all know how difficult it has become. We all know how expensive life has become. We all know how tricky it has become, even to put some little money aside. Now, that's why it's important to have financial coaches. If you have someone you know very well and is a financial coach, if you're someone who is maybe a friend who is very good in managing money. I met another lady. She is really good. She has a book where she puts everything. She divides her money. She really is so well organized and consequent in how she she prepares herself for the future or for the difficult times. I am amazed at people who can do that. I really appreciate for those also who know how and they can teach others. Maybe you have an idea how it goes and how it can be well done. Teach your friends, teach your people. Let others also know how they can brace for hard times. The other thing I thought is some people are earning so big money, such a big money, and they're not investing anywhere. Invest. Investments can help you survive hard times. Gertrude Ritho, thank you for joining. Welcome. Thank you for joining. Today I have only until 5 o'clock, until 6 o'clock. So I'm trying to rush through my points. But the main thing is to actually support you and with ideas and try to find with each other how can we brace for difficult times? How can we brace for hard times? How can we make sure that we survive difficult situations when it gets hard? How can we survive that? How can we make it to get where we need to go to when things get hard? Because as long as things are working well, as long as we are managing, as long as we have money coming in, sometimes we don't think of the hard times. As long as we are, things are working well, we can buy our wine, we can buy our mangoes, we can eat our avocados and everything. We don't think about those times, But when it gets tough and suddenly everybody who was celebrating you is gone and you're all alone, and maybe family who are depending on you, they look, oh, now she has nothing, I cannot go to her for any help, and you're left all alone, then you start realizing, oh my goodness, so it is like this, and then it's too late. So whenever we already have our monies, wherever we are having our good times, we are enjoying that time, then it's the time actually to try to brace for the hard time. Don't wait until it's too late. Don't wait until it is difficult to save the money. Save when you can. Do you have a clear mind of what you're earning? Invest in property that can be money generating. And I'm not saying building a house out there in Africa which will wait for you to come and live in there for one week or 2 weeks when you're in Africa. I'm saying something that will be money generating. So that in case you don't have your job which gives you income every month, you have another source of money generating project. You have maybe rentals, you have maybe a business, which in case you don't have the source of income right now, it can be a help for the source of income when you are maybe not able to get that job, or maybe the job is gone, maybe it was a project and it's finished and now you have no money. You have to have a way on the side which is generating some income so you can survive. Because you can be having a whole lot of friends supporting you and cheering you on now when you have a job, when you have money, when you have a good house, a big house, whatever, and when they can come and have parties with you. But the moment those things are gone, then that's when you'll know why it's important to brace for hard times, my friends. We need to learn that. And I think that's why I wish our continent would also, our presidents would prepare for such times, because it would be such a help. We would not be having a problem having our countries go beg for maize, yellow maize, from countries out there, maize that they used to feed their cows. That's when our countries will go and beg for that food, because they did not brace for hard times. They did not store when we had plenty. They did not catch the rainwater and keep it when it was available, so that when it gets dry, people have enough water to live on. Bracing for hard times is an art. It's a necessity, actually. It's not an option, it's a necessity. And we need to learn that. And while we are at it, Afronews Awards are being celebrated soon on the 21st of October. And we need to prepare for that, of course. We need to be ready for that. That means there are those who are if you need to be there available, you need to register for that, and you need to go to a certain page. I think you have to go and register. Let me check. On www.afronews.de, you can go and check what is being planned. It's going to be in Bürgerzentrum in Weiblingen. Oh, it's quite near to me. This time maybe I may make it to go. It's in Bürgerzentrum an der Thaler 4, I'm saying in German, in 71334 Stuttgart. Weiblingen is not very far. May God help me to go there. I need to save for that time to brace for that party. So it's on 21st of October. It will be from 5:30, and there are quite several companies involved in preparing for that, so don't miss. I'm sure it's going to be a very exciting event. ORG, yeah, so just get ready, don't miss this. It is something nice to see actually others being awarded and recognized, because it motivates yourself also to do the same, to do their best, and to be the one of those who are who's in Germany. Ruth Matilda, you said is a good point on investing money and generating properties. I also have learned to cut all unnecessary expenses. That is so important. Example, I don't buy anything and pay in installments. If I can't afford to pay cash, then you don't buy. And I agree with that. I know it's always a trick. Sometimes they use so that they can earn more, because every time you buy an instrument, you also pay interest. Jane Mudhoni Wambugu, you're joining. Yeah, Jane Mudhoni, you're doing shipping for things to Kenya. I don't know if it's only Kenya, but guys, whoever want to ship anything to Africa, get in touch with Jane Mudhoni Wambugu and get to know what she offers on shipping things. Birgit Franke, thank you for joining, and you're welcome. We are talking about how to brace for hard times. And I like the idea of Ruth Matila, because you're saying you invest, and the other thing is you don't buy unnecessary things. That is so important, because sometimes, I know ladies and shopping, we shop. We love shopping. I love shopping too. And I know sometimes we forget. Just the other day, I was having really not so much money. So I went in our town in Esslingen. I live near Esslingen. So I went there and I just wanted to check on something actually. And then I saw a shop that I need, and I didn't know that it's there. And I went in there, and it's like addiction, You go in there and you feel like always you want to buy this, you want to buy that, and actually you don't need it, but you want to buy it. And I'm like, Agnes, I almost was beating my hand. Don't touch that. Don't touch that. You don't need that. I was talking to myself, because suddenly I saw 1,001 things that I would need, I could need, things that maybe I could use, but actually, definitely I didn't need them. But I don't know what it is, it's desire or whatever it is, was telling me, you need it, you can buy this, oh, it looks so nice, it could fit in your living room, it could fit in your bedroom and all that, and I don't need it. Actually, as much as I remember, I'm trying to declutter, and buying extra stuff, it would have been actually a shot in the back. So, and it's a very important point, Ruth, that you're pointing out. We need to learn to buy only necessary things, and then we need to invest in producing projects, not just things that are sitting there. I was reading about I read it somewhere that 90% of the houses we build from diaspora, they stand there, no one is using them. It's actually wealth is sitting. You've invested millions of shillings or dollars, and it's just sitting there and doing nothing. It's not producing any money. You're not getting any win. You're living there maybe at 1 or 2 weeks when you go to Africa or when you go to your home country. So for what did you invest so much money, really? For what? It's sad. It's heartbreaking. Something like that is so heartbreaking. So we need to think of how we can invest in ways also that we can be earning money in case a job gets you lose a job, or you get sick that you cannot work anymore, or whatever eventuality comes into your situation. If it's money, when you get your money, put money to the side for food, so that not when the money is over from the account, you have nothing to buy food with. It's really a catastrophe. let's learn to brace for hard times. And I know we Africans, we love to, we always tell ourselves, you live only once, and we this and that, but we should not always comfort ourselves with these sayings that will not help us in difficult times. We need to learn to put things on the side for difficult times. And difficult times are always there. They will come, they will find us. We have to learn to brace, to help ourselves go through hard times without going down under and 6 feet under sometimes. Because some of us then, because we are not prepared and things get tough and we think, oh God, what is going on? And then some of us get depressed and some end up taking their own lives because they did not brace for hard times. They did not brace. They did not even have, psychologically, you can also brace for hard times by having friends, having good friends, trustworthy friends that hold you back, keep you back, and take care of your those moody days, not just for taking care of your moody days, but they are there with you. They are there for you when you need them. That is also bracing for hard times. Not just, they don't have to give you money when you need it. They can be there just for moral support. They can be there just so you have someone to talk with, so that you're not alone in the flat thinking about your problems. Because I realize for myself, when I have problems and I'm alone, I think 100 times more than if I would have someone who is distracting me from the thoughts. So even investing in friendships, lasting friendships, is good because it helps you also in those difficult times. You have someone to talk with, you have someone to share with, you have someone to go to, you have some place even to go out, and you're not sitting in your room or in your house alone and thinking, this one is difficult, how will I make it? And then the more you think about problems, the bigger they become, and the more you feel overwhelmed. You need to invest, to brace for hard times by investing in lasting relationships. And the other point is family. Try to be that part of the family that you want them to be for you. Now, if family, sometimes I know there are toxic family members or family situations, those really, if they are there, run away, because they're going to take away your energy and all that. But if you have family that is supportive, that is standing with you, be that same to them. Be supportive, be helpful, be encouraging. Invest in your family. And I'm not saying just immediate family. It can be even a far cousin. It can be a grandmother. It can be an uncle. It can be an auntie. It can be anybody who gives you positive energy. And I'm not saying you stick to every family member, even if they're killing you inwardly. This is like investing in death. Don't do that. If they need money and you need to give them, give them if you can. But don't forget yourself. Well-being is very important. Your own well-being is very important. And let me tell you, if you're not doing well mentally, it will not help you in any way, even if you have millions in your account. You need, first of all, to invest in those hard times when you are stable psychologically and mentally. You'll be able to cater, to take care of them and go through them well if you are stable mentally. If you're mentally, you have invested in keeping yourself healthy. So don't stress yourself. Don't overwhelm yourself with unnecessary things. Some of us, we will be so worried about everything, and it's not going to help us. We need to be strong. How do you invest mentally and psychologically? Do good things to yourself. Take time to renew your energy. Take time. Go for walks. Be with friends. Take care of your well-being. What makes you happy? What makes you happy? And I tell you, if you're at a good state mentally and psychologically, it will be easier for you to deal with hard times in that situation. If you're already, in German you say angeschlagen, psychisch angeschlagen, es ist noch schwieriger überhaupt durchzumachen. It's more difficult to stand through hard times if your wellness mentally is not there. So we need to work on that. We don't need to be fighting battles that are not ours. Brace for hard times by keeping your mental well-being at a good pace and at a good state and at a good situation. So avoid circumstances that will make you not able to deal with hard times. It's as important as having a financial pollster somewhere that will help you through hard times. Because even if you have millions and you're not stable mentally, then even that money will not help you. Because what does it help you if you have a lot of millions and you're mentally not stable? You're mentally disturbed. You're not happy. You have no joy about life. Brace by networking well, by investing, by taking the right jobs. Brace by taking time to renew your strength, to renew your mental well-being. And also, when you're having a chama or a group of friends, take those people who are going to help you in that time and not going to celebrate your downfall. Those people who are not going to fight to pull you even more down. That's why it's so important. The people you're associating with them now, they should be the people who will stand with you even when things get hard. That is a very important investment. So what type of friends are you having? What type of investments are you doing? What type of people are you having around you? That is also a way of investing, in a way of bracing yourself for the future. Because if you have the wrong people for the present, your future is also going to be difficult. Because when it becomes hard, they will not be there. They will be the ones even celebrating your downfall. Sudetma, my soulmate, how are you? I am glad you're coming to watch. We have still some 14 minutes left. Very nice that you're taking part of this. I know you know what I'm talking about. Friends, investing in friends who can stand with each other. You're one of those good friends. Thank you so much. And Maria Kaine, thank you also for being part of us. You have always encouraged people, and it's so important. It's so important, the things we surround ourselves with. What we are doing now is an investment, is a bracing for the future. If you brace wrongly, then your brakes will not hold when the emergency is there. If you invest in the wrong friendships, those brakes will not work when you're in an emergency situation, when you're having a hard situation. These friends will disappear. These friends will be the ones gossiping about your downfall. These friends will be the ones even making you more stressed and making your life even more difficult, making the hard times become harder instead of helping you and bracing and helping you and supporting you so that the difficult times can be easier. So while you're thinking about this today, evaluate your life, my friend. Evaluate your life. Think about it. What is it that you're doing now that is bracing you for difficult times in the future? What are you doing now in that direction? How is your mental state right now? If things get bad tomorrow, if you lost your job tomorrow, if you didn't have a flat, if you're the owner of the house came tomorrow and said, I need you to leave my flat tomorrow, how ready are you for such a situation? Because we always have to have that at the back of our minds, to know that it can happen, and it can happen tomorrow, with warning, without warning. It can happen. Those hard times don't come knocking and say, I am coming next week on Tuesday or Wednesday. Sometimes they just pop up, and then you're there and you're like, oh my God, you're stoned and you're finished and you don't know what to do. That's why it's so important to prepare now. Even your children. As parents, I know, Maria Kaine, I know, Sue, you will support me in this. We need to teach our children to brace for those times as well. We can do that and prepare. Maybe we have had experience and it has made us hard and tough and maybe more prepared. But are we bracing our children as well for the hard times? Because life is not a Spaziergang. How do you say? It's not a walk in the park. Oh, my German is so dominant. It's stealing my English sometimes. But life is not a walk in the park. It can happen to anybody. It can happen to us. It can happen to our children. Are we bracing our children for the hard times? Are we teaching them? Are we giving them skills how to go through such hard times? Do they know what to do when it comes? Sudetma, you're saying, yeah, those hard times, they drain you. They finish you. They take your energy. Jackie Mwangi, Sudetma is saying, Jackie Mwangi, come hear this. I hope she will hear. The good thing is that we always record our program, so even if you miss this time, you still can go back and get the message on YouTube. When you look for Radio R, you always find us. And Radio RFM on YouTube, I think. And on Facebook, you can find us, of course. And of course, you can find me. And I'm saying, if we have the skills, if we know how to. And Maria Kaine, I know you are a lioness in this, how you raise your children. Lady, I respect you. You are really a lioness. Joy Awe, I know also you are a tough lady. You have done a lot. You have gone through a lot. You've braced through a lot of situations. And it's so important. You're saying, Maria Kane, you're saying, I love this, very important points. Sometimes we are so busy fighting for ourselves and our children, we forget to teach them how to fight. And this is so important. I am learning this because my children are leaving the house slowly, and I'm like, how prepared are they? And let me tell you, we would sleep better when our children are out there if we know we brace them, we give them the skills, the toolkit, how to deal with the hard times when they're out there. Even if they would be on Mars, we know my boy is gonna do it, my girl is gonna make it because I equipped her, I equipped my son. I know they know how to brace it. I know they have the emergency brakes. They know when to step on them when things go haywire. You know, life is like that. We cannot program what comes to us, but we need to prepare, and we need to teach our children. We need to give them those skills. If you have learned how to save money, teach your children. I'm doing financial coaching even with my children. You know, I'm nerving them because I learned financial coaching a bit late. I was coached myself. I'm still learning, and I'm trying to push this on my children because they need to learn. I tell you, if you learn skills, give it to your children. There's a guy I'm really very impressed with. Mwenda Dhuranira is a realtor in Kenya right now, and I see him taking his son to the construction sites. He's taking his sons to meetings, important meetings. This boy is not even, I don't think he's that old, but he's learning on the job. He's watching how his father deals with different situations. I love that. I really love that, and I wish many of us would take that and use it in our own lives. Bracing for hard times, not just in diaspora, but everywhere we are, but in diaspora at most, because really we are in a foreign country. We don't have so many advantages and generational wealth like some of the natives have, but we can create it and make sure, like I'm saying, our children need to have that polster. They need to have the generational wealth to fall back into. We are not going to leave our children in poverty. We are going to change that narrative. We are going to change that assumption that all migrant families are poor. Because if we learn how to brace those hard times and teach our children, the generations coming will be much better braced for everything. They will be not just be braced to fight racism, they will be braced to fight poverty, they will be braced to fight unfairness at job place, they will be braced for so many other things, and they will be also very investing in important relationships, in important jobs. They will invest their time in making their mental health well and stable. They will learn from us. If we do it, they will learn from us. Margaret Kimaru, you're watching. Thank you for joining. This time, like I said, we're going up to 6 o'clock. I'll be doing this only 1 hour on Sundays. And I'm glad I could do that because I'm also hustling on the side. As I'm talking tonight, I will still go to work. But I'm glad I have that job. That is one of my posters. And I'm teaching my children also that you cannot always be very comfy where you are. You can be comfortable, yes. Enjoy it, yes. You can tell yourself, YOLO, you live only once and all that. But we still have to think of tomorrow. What if tomorrow I'm still there and things happen the opposite? I need to be braced for that. I need to be prepared for that. We need to be prepared for that here in diaspora and wherever we are. And then we need to teach our children so that the future generations can be ready. If you learn how to deal with the authorities here, how to brace for situations here, then they need to know how to do it. Because one day you may not be there to be with them and fight for them. Then they need to fight. Just like the mother lion teaches the cubs how to hunt slowly, she will feed them for some time, and then later she will teach them how to survive and also teach them how to hunt for themselves. And they have to learn, albeit playfully, but they have to learn. And as we prepare ourselves for for hard times, while we are having good times, let's remember our cubs need that learning as well. They need the expertise. They need to learn how to survive difficult times. Let me tell you, if it hits you, especially financially, what I have learned in this community is that when you are down there, if you have no money, I don't think anyone is going to help you. Even the banks, they don't want to give you a credit. But if you have a job, you have something stable, you are somehow prepared, then they are very quick to run and help you. Banks are not emergency, they are not ambulances. They are businesses. Because sometimes we think, okay, if I don't make it this way, the bank will help me and all that. What if they can't? That's why it's so important to have our own pots ready to help us. We have to help ourselves out. And that's why we need to learn now and do that preparation now, to get ready for that now when things are well, when you're getting that 5,000, 6,000 euros. Invest in projects that generate money generating projects, not stagnating projects that are just sitting there looking at you and they're not producing anything. So we need to learn that. We need to exercise that. And we need to learn how to. We need to learn how to prepare for difficult times. We need to learn how to prepare for hard times. We need to learn how to go through hard times without breaking into pieces. Yeah, and that's why it's important also to prepare mentally, to be at a good mental status, to be at a good psychological status, because it will help us when things get hard. And always, 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 we need to remember, life is not a walk in the park. It can happen anytime. I'm not saying we live in fear, but we live in reality. Living in fear is also not nice, because we develop phobias, and we develop this anxiety, and we develop a lot of other things if we are all too scared about what could happen. I'm just saying, let's just be ready and prepare ourselves for in the case of emergency. In case this happens, just tell yourself, in case this happens, I'm happy, I'm ready. And also you can make insurances, you can make savings program, you can talk to your bank or financial coach. Let them help you, let them show you. If you don't know how to do it, let someone who knows how to show you. But beware of con guys and scammers. Be very careful. Research always with who you invest your money. Research always where you are saving your money. If you can save in a place where you're getting interest, invest there instead of investing somewhere where you don't get anything for it, where the money is just sitting but it's not doing anything. But at any case, save. At any case, distribute your money well, because in the future you may not be having that income, and that what you're saving, that what you're putting to the side will help you to survive the hard times. So I hope I could help you a bit with a bit of insight, a bit of ideas on how to deal with this. And also I hope I have motivated you to start coaching your children to survive the hard times. Don't wait for them to see you suffering and they look at you and say, "Mommy, what next?" And you have no plan in place to survive, and they will feel lost. Or, "Papa, what next?" And you look at them like, I also don't know, I have to start thinking. Don't start thinking when you're already in the that stuff. Do it before you step into it, so that when the kids come to you, they know, oh, Papa has lost his job, and they come to you and say, "Papa, now what next?" Then you can tell them, "Kids, I have a plan. I got a plan. I'm set. I'm ready. Anything like this is a setback, but it's not our downfall." And if the kids can come to you, Mommy, especially single mamas, oh my goodness, I know you're the heroes of this universe. If you want that tough, but you also need to brace yourself double, because you're alone and taking care of those children. You have to double your efforts, so that when that thing happens, that job